Hey everybody, this is Bryan Reklis with Carrboro Film Fest, and I'm very excited to introduce you to our new graphic designer, Izzy Nunez. Izzy, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing very well. Excited to be talking with you. Can you tell everybody how did you get started in graphic design, and what's your career been like?
Ooh, okay. So how I got started is I don't want to say embarrassing, but I was just always the kid that kind of got in trouble. Specifically for writing all over my homework. I would write like doodle in the margins and like just got really into like typography really kind of early on. And I mean, would get slaps on the wrist all the time for doing it. But I kept at it and I joined yearbook in high school. And truly, that was the origin story, the big villain arc of mine. But yeah, then just dove in headfirst in college and just got knee deep in publication design and really fell in love with magazines and specifically this creative arts journal that I worked on. And it just kind of kept spiraling from there. So wherever I could get my hands on like analog graphic design situations and then like start incorporating like my illustration work into my design work and it just became a whole big mess. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, I guess.
That's awesome. And you are new to North Carolina, is that right?
Very new. Yeah, only been here for a year. I'm from the Midwest and specifically originally Chicago, but more specifically Michigan. So it'll mirror in a weird way, but I'm yeah, kind of from like this area.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really excited because we are now launching the new graphics for next year's Carrboro Film Festival. And I wanted to have you on to tell people about what the graphics are and just kind of what your thought process was and the theme of them and all of that. So tell us about the graphics for the 2025 festival.
So when I was charged with doing these graphics, I really wanted to make sure that it was intentional to the South and specifically the Carrboro Film Festival Mission. I almost said Michigan. That's really um,
Which
and
part of the
which part of
mission
it is
of
the
the mission
yeah.
is it? Yeah.
um, but I got really interested in humor and just like I don't know. There's a quote that Paula Scher said at some point where it was like, um, design isn't funny anymore. And I really wanted to make sure one, this was funny, two, it went along with the Carbo mission, and three, I forgot the third. But anyways, that it was engaging and interesting and fun to look at. Um, and kind of had more of a story to it. So I was really wrestling with a lot of different themes. I thought about like hot sauce. I thought about um, sweet tea, just a lot of food. I don't know why. That's always where my mind goes. But then I think I saw some graphic on my social media page, and it was like, um, "This actually is my first rodeo," and it was like, "That's so funny." Like, what if it actually was? What if it was my first rodeo? What would that look like? And this character kept like bouncing around in my head where it was like it was couldn't get up on the horse, couldn't lasso the cow, it was just really struggling. And I just thought that was so funny. So then I started to research that like phrase. I was like, okay, is this like a regional thing? Where did like this ain't my first rodeo? Where did that come from? And it was popularized by a film, Mommy Dearest, which is this really like camp memoir about Joan Crawford and her daughter's relationship, which I didn't realize how messed up it was. I've never seen the movie, so I did a quick Google search and kind of deep dive into it and found that she's a Southern belle. Her parents were from the South, and she grew up in Texas, and or maybe it was Tennessee. It's very Southern, and just like their relationship was full of her and her daughter's like of abuse and a lot of generational trauma, which the South is quite frankly filled with. And while this is a very lighthearted, um, branding identity, it's also something that like has a little bit of an underbelly and something to wrestle with. So I really love these characters and they represent something that's really fun and funny and honestly a little bit like autobiographical because like there are times when I mean this quite literally is my first rodeo too. Like I'm brand new to the South and I'm failing every which way and but also having a lot of fun. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version of that of the branding identity and my thought process through it. But it's also got some the typography is reminiscent of letterpress, which is really cool. I got really into it in college, but it's just got like a cool tactility. So I hope you enjoy that. And they use it in a lot of rodeo posters.
That's awesome. Yeah, when you first told me this idea and you were showing me the early sketches for this, I was really excited. I do love like this idea of something that's really fun looking and exciting, and like says like this is a fun event. This is it really lines up with what I want for the festival, which is this is going to be a fun, engaging experience that you're going to have a good time at. But hearing the backstory to it, I think also goes to like we do show films that have heavy material, and we want people to be like in a thoughtful space and really kind of wrestling with difficult ideas, and like and we want to foster that dialogue, as well as have a really good time. And so I think that really is great for what I want for the festival, to have be. So I'm so excited for that. I hope you all are enjoying this new graphics package that we're putting forth for this season. I'm very excited about it. We're going to go, but I want to ask Izzy one more question. Izzy, if you were going to watch one movie tonight, what would you watch?
Okay, I really do have to think about this, but I'm gonna go with okay. Are you familiar with Paranorman? It's one of the
Sure.
Leica films. I'm obsessed with any of their films, but that's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
All right, go back to something comfortable and it just hits close to heart and nice. That's good. I like that a lot. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Izzy, and thank you all for watching. And stay tuned for more information from Carrboro Film Fest.